going to allow him to start pumping out gateways and also some cannons to protect this expansion as well. Drewbie quite behind at this point. Looks like he may be trying to get up the gold of his own, and really doubtful that Drewbie wants to get into a macro game with Mini. Mini, very powerful macro Protoss player. Again, he wants to do that fast expand, get on 2 bases right away, start pumping out this higher tech, and really just overwhelm you. See Mini dropping pylons all over the map as well. He's going to be able to see any sort of drops coming, so he's going to be able to see the drop of Drewbie, but it looks like Drewbie instead going to be able to take down this pylon. He wants to stop this site. That's going to prevent any sort of drops that he does attempt along the side or Banshee play. So using those Marauders, stemming up, not really necessary to take that out. Pylon's not going to fight back. If we check out the Army tab at this point, very even, 55-50 to 75-50 or 57-50. And Drewbie trying to get up a third of his own. So if we check out the armies, we do have 7 Colossi out and a number of Phoenix. So those Colossi are going to try to do damage to the Marines and the Marauders before they go down to these Vikings. 9 Vikings on the field. I believe the Phoenix might have those Vikings number. Phoenix a little bit better than Vikings, especially with the Stalker help if they are focusing down the Vikings. But we do see Drewbie double pumping Vikings off this starport with the reactor, so he'll soon have air supremacy. And Inflow, or Mini being a little bit ballsy here, getting up a 4th expansion along the side, especially after his opponent just took down that pylon. Really would expect another drop or something to be coming here. Instead, throwing down a Nexus, and that's definitely going to be able to spot any sort of drops coming along that western edge. Looks like the Marauder's working on this destructible rocks and could perhaps be expanding to his own 4th shortly, pushing in, trying to pick off a Colossus there. Looks like he's lightening the numbers of Phoenix, and these Phoenix are just not going to be enough match against all these Vikings. That's 12 Vikings, or 11 Vikings able to take on those Phoenix, and the Stalkers were in bad position, not able to defend their air brethren there. Now looks like Drewbie with the lightened load on this Phoenix, feeling like he can push out. The Vikings going to be very good against the Colossus. He needs to bring them in, try to get a flank away from these Stalkers, getting a good EMP as well. A lot of the energy of the High Templar that Inflow has with his, or that Mini has with his army here, is taken down, as well as a lot of these shields. But still, the Colossus doing so much damage against the Marines and the Marauders. These Vikings are chewing them up though, almost one-shotting them at this point, but the Vikings cannot engage those cannons, so Drewbie really lightening the army of Mini. So we see 2,400 to 1,200, so about double the army at this point, but he's just not able to take advantage. He's not able to push in against the cannons and the Stalkers with just the Vikings. Really think the Mini might have to do a tech switch here. Not sure that the Colossus are going to be very good now that his opponent has so many Vikings, and he just cannot get out enough Phoenix numbers to really match the Vikings at this point. Looks like he's throwing down a number of Gateway, 4 more Gateway, so maybe trying to transition to some sort of High Templar and Gateway unit army composition. He does have up this 4th base, and it's nicely protected by these photon cannons. Has gas working at all these bases as well, so could start to afford some High Templar. If we check the Army tab, trying to close the gap a little bit, 3350 compared to the 2325. And Drewbie has a strong planetary fortress at this gold, something we often see Terran players go for on the Xel'naga Caverns map. Very difficult to bust this middle position once the planetary fortress does go down. And also looks like he's expanded to this northwest corner and trying to throw down a 5th expansion as well. So if he's able to get this expansion up and running, could have quite the advantage with those mules as well, all 5 bases. Mini is just on these 4 bases, have a feeling that he is not very comfortable losing the majority of his army there, trying to warp in more and more army off all these gateways. Looks like he's got about 4 gateways in the main, and a number of going down in the natural as well. Will soon be on 11 gates. Looks like Drewbie preparing a small task force here, hoping to take down the Nexus, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to take on these photon cannons. Getting a stem, going to try to focus these down, but it looks like he's not even going to focus, trying to move into the back of the mineral lines away from those cannons. So Mini's going to have to warp in some units. We do see Charge Lads trying to close the distance on these Marauders. Marines and Marauders doing their best to kite, and a storm going down on those Marauders. And now this High Templar just kind of suiciding, saying hello to this Marauder, needs to get it out of there. And I think Drewbie is going to be happy he was able to take down the High Templar there, but not a very successful attack. got into the back of the mineral line. I like what he was trying to do, getting away from the cannons there. See the Ghost leading the way for Drewbie, and again, he wants to get down some good EMPs. He wants to take down all the shields of these units, as well as the energy. We see these High Templar getting some great feedbacks on those Ghosts before the EMP can go down. So Mini out-microing his opponents there, and now we'll have these storms for this engagement. So he's able to storm these units. Drewbie doing a good job trying to micro away from them, but the storms just keep coming, and now we have very strong Immortals, quite good against those armored Marauders, and they're just going to wreck house now. Again, the Vikings not able to do too much, as Mini is not very heavily invested into the Colossi at this point. Still has Templar down, and he may lose him here. Needs to get some storms on these Marauders. Needs to lead the way with these Immortals as well. So he does have +2 upgrades, so there's Immortal doing 60 damage now to those Marauders. So basically, almost in 2-shot range are those Marauders. If we check out the production tab, we do see some battle cruisers coming out for Drewbie. So it looks like he is going for some battle cruisers, taking advantage of the fact that he has air superiority at this point. There are not a lot of stalkers on the map for his opponent, as he's spending most of his gas on these High Templar. And if he's able to do some damage with these battle cruisers, I'm not sure that Mini has much that can counter him at this point. The feedback is good against battle cruisers. It does a lot of upfront damage, but you need something that's going to finish off the battle cruisers. And if he's able to focus down these Archons and the Stalkers, he's not going to have too much. See, the battle cruiser's a little bit out of position here as Mini moves up into the base of Drewbie. And these units very stormable at this point, so some storms going down for Mini, taking down a lot of those units for Drewbie. Drewbie not doing a very good job microing away there. And those battle cruisers, it looks like that he's trying to take on the base of Mini there, trying to take on those photon cannons. But I think at this point he needs to pull back and defend against this push. Mini very strong push here with these Immortals and these Archons. The slow battle cruisers doing their best to get in here. Now focusing down these starports, trying to take out the production structures of his opponent. The high ground site giving sight to these low ground Immortals, as they will aid in trying to focus down these starports and these barracks. The Thor being surrounded by these Zealots here, so Mini doing a good job warping in a number of Stalkers, taking down the battle cruisers of Drewbie, so Drewbie not doing too much damage there. And now we see more Immortals coming in, and the main of Drewbie is just under assault by Mini here. He's got all these Zealots and these Immortals. They cannot attack the battle cruisers, but he doesn't care. He is just wiping out all the barracks and the starports for his Terran opponent here. And Drewbie having to lift off finally, perhaps should have done that a little bit earlier, as he already lost all of his starports, and a few of his barracks are now burning. And now these battle cruisers will be trying to do their best to clean up these Immortals. Again, the Immortals not very good against SCVs, or these battle cruisers cannot attack. So the battle cruisers with 2-2 upgrades at this point, able to clean up this attack. But it looks like while that was happening, Mini was able to move out and take down the 5th of Drewbie. So he's got Drewbie on the run at this point. Now going to be engaging on this planetary fortress as well. If this goes down, I'm not sure what Drewbie's going to be able to do for income. He will be on basically 1 mining base compared to the 5 of his opponent. And that planetary fortress quickly goes down to those Immortals. Those Immortals with +3 attack now, 65 damage to armored. And now going to be pushing in here again, another planetary fortress for Drewbie. He's going to try to get a surround on this, but some storms could take down those SCVs. Looks like Mini is thinking just that, as those SCVs very low and able to focus down that planetary fortress. And Drewbie just does not have much of an army. It is 4,100 to 1,400. And Root Drewbie looks like he's going to have to GG to his new teammate, Root Mini. Mini at the top of the North American ladder, and it shows why able to take down a very strong and dynamic Terran player in Drewbie in this this Gosu Trolling best-of-5 show match. So I encourage you to check out Gosu Trolling. They do these show matches every Sunday, best-of-5 for $50, and I'm sure the prize pool will be going up as they get more and more of an audience. They also do a lot of interviews and things, and just news about Starcraft in general. Very exciting series, back and forth. Mini with busting out in game 1 there of that contain that Drewbie had, and then Drewbie some successful early pressure in the other games, able to close the gap 2-2, force this game 5. But then I think he let Mini get into a bit of a comfort zone there, with that macro game, getting on a number of bases, Mini doing a good job of fending off the Banshee, good gamer sense on his part and scouting as well, and Drewbie could just not surprise him or out macro his now Protoss teammate. So Drewbie going down in this one, Mini taking it 3-2. Thanks for watching this one. If you are looking for more StarCraft 2 action, check out my channel Matron Starcraft at youtube.com. See you guys next time. Take care.